Hi all, it's Teresa in Gemma's house, and I'm continuing on with my painting kitchen cabinets project. Okay, so continuing from yesterday's painting session, and I watered down the paint some more. This is probably 1 part water to 1 part paint. So you can see how soupy it is, and I think this is the better way to go, just thin coats of paint and just multiple layers. And I don't think I mentioned which specific paint I used. It's this Sherwin brand, and I always buy an eggshell finish when I'm painting walls in my places. This drawer front, I'm not going to use those same knobs. I have an idea of the type of drawer pull that I want to put on these drawers. So before I put another coat of paint, I'm going to put some wood filler in this hole. When it dries, I'll sand it and then I'll put the second coat of paint on it. So I'm just pushing some wood filler into this hole and then making sure I have enough on the surface, because then I'll sand this flat. And just in case you don't know how to remove these drawers that are on these metal glides, there's this little plastic thing here. It's a lever, and there's one on both sides. And all you have to do is push it down. You can also push it up and then just pull the drawer straight out. And then just push the glides back in. Okay, so these drawers weren't in bad shape at all. I rinsed them all off with a Dawn dish detergent, and I put some wood filler in each of the holes. I'll let this dry for at least 2 hours before I rinse off these drawers and then sand them down. And luckily I didn't find any surprises under here. That's the furnace duct. In my last house that was about 55 years old or so, I renovated it myself, and when I was taking out the base cabinets in the kitchen, I found the skeleton of a rat. And the previous owner, he was a single guy, and he lived there by himself with his couple wild cats. And that poor rat probably figured he made a narrow escape, but unfortunately, no, he didn't. So, good news, no surprises under here. Okay, so if you can see my brush strokes, if you are going to do an effect like this of the visible brush strokes to look like wood grain, you have to make sure to paint in the direction of the wood grain. And where two boards meet, try not to have them overlapping at all. Okay, good morning. So this is going on the 6th day of this project, and I need some more concrete immediate gratification. So, last night I finished painting the drawer fronts, front and back of them. Hi, Gemma. I finished painting the entire base cabinet. And before I paint the rest of the doors over here, I'm going to apply the varnish coat to what I have painted so far. I'm using this Minwax polyacrylic in a clear satin finish. This is water-based, but you should have a window open and a fan on, and that's what I have going on. So you shouldn't shake this, so you just stir it gently. And with a regular brush, just apply it just like you would with paint. I'm going to put one thin coat on and see how they look. Okay, so you still want to paint in the direction of the wood grain for this varnish. And I have this underneath a bright light at my kitchen island, so it's nice because I can see my brush strokes too. I want to keep them fairly even. And again, at these ends, at the edges, you just want to brush straight off the edge to keep the brush strokes nice and even all the way to the end. You don't want to go across. And just very lightly trying to get this side part, and then make sure my brush strokes are all going straight off the edge with no brush strokes going across the top. All right. Okay, so I have 2 coats finished on the remaining doors. Okay, so the base cabinets are all varnished now. And you can't really see the striations that I was thinking that I would have on these unless you look really closely. It's pretty solid color actually that they turned out. And the light differences during the day and evening really changes the look of this blue. It can go from a more subtle blue to pretty brilliant in natural light from the windows. And also when I have the overhead lights on, it changes the look of them in the evening too. And I love them so much that I'm pretty sure I'm going to paint these base cabinets as well. I think that will tie in the look better. Another thing that I had been considering originally was to add highlights onto the cabinets along the edges, either sanding the edges to kind of distress them or adding highlights like I did on this little stool. This was my mother's stool and it was originally all brown wood. It's a darling little stool So I painted it and added these highlights with copper acrylic paints. And I really do love the look of it. It's very whimsical. And I reupholstered the top too. So I changed the look of it quite a bit. So I was originally thinking I would do something similar to this, maybe a little more simplified instead of a solid color. I am going to live with these for a while, and especially after I do the wall treatment. I'll see then if I want to add anything to the edges of these cabinets, and then I can just varnish over that. So I'm pretty happy with it. I know these two cabinet colors aren't tied in right now, but I'm looking at doing a wall treatment on this wall to tie the two colors together. I'm looking at wallpapers, peel and stick tile, and paint colors to make it look more cohesive. Right now, these light colored walls aren't working for me. I kind of like a dark vibe on my walls. It makes it more cozy, and that's just what I'm into right now. Okay, so that will do it for this project. If you enjoyed this video, can I ask you to please give it a thumbs up? That really helps my viewership on YouTube, and it helps this video reach more viewers. So thanks for doing that. I will be making more videos about my kitchen wall treatments and the cabinet hardware, so stay tuned for those. So thanks again for watching. Until next week, bye-bye.